Y'all, I'm about to get real silly for y'all. Just teach you this story. This might be the cringiest video yet. Just wait. Sup, y'all? We're about to have a hoedown. We're gonna pretend like we're sitting around the fire. We're telling stories. I ain't gonna sing for you because you wouldn't want to hear that, but I got my boots on and I'm gonna tell y'all the story of the Odyssey. I meant to do that. Alright, you guys ready to hear the beginning? Alright, now pretend I'm Homer. Not Homer Simpson. Homer from 600 BC. You know, the one who told the stories of the Iliad and the Odyssey? That Homer. Alright, so here we go. Now Homer needed to invoke the muses. He said, "Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story of that man skilled in all ways of contending.
The wanderer hurried for years on end after he plundered the stronghold of that proud height of Troy.
Of these adventures, muse, daughter of Zeus, tell us, in our time, lift that great song again." Alright, so right after Homer tells us, he invokes the muses and he says, "Okay, help me out, let me tell this story now." Now it's Odysseus' turn. Alright, so sailing from Troy takes place like 10 years after the war. I'm gonna call him Odie because I like that. That sounds like a good southern name, Odie. Alright, so we got Odie, right? He's not humble at all, y'all. He's got an ego for days. So he starts saying, "This is who I am and this is who I've been with." And he's been with this woman named Calypso and this woman named Circe, and he was detained by them. He was trying to get back to his wife the whole time, but he was detained by them. He's standing up there and he's like, "I'm Odysseus and this is my daddy and these women done did this." And then he starts blaming the gods. He blames Zeus. He said, "I killed some men, a lot of men. I enslaved the women. I did whatever it took for me to get home to my baby." And he did. Alright, then we get into the Lotus Eaters. Lotus Eaters got a lot of examples nowadays. So see if y'all can get the lesson behind the Lotus Eaters. Alright, so Odysseus and his men, they end up, Odie and his men, they get to this island of the Lotus Eaters and they show up and they're like, "Man, these people nice around here. They're trying to give us food and drink." They start getting some lotus flowers and some of his boys ate them and they were like, "Oh, these are good." But the lotus flower, y'all, makes you forget. So those boys never made it back on the boat. They stayed on that island forever. Luckily, Odie found out. One of his boys came back and said, "Yo, this is bad. We can't be eating this stuff." So they didn't and they left. Unfortunately, Odie lost some of his guys in the process. Alright, y'all, so I gotta look at my notes for this one because the Cyclops is a long one. Alright, so Odie and his boys, they entered the Cyclops cave. Well, that was their first mistake. They shouldn't have done that. They not only entered the cave, they started eating all the Cyclops' food. Oh, so Cyclops gets back. He's not happy with them. He walks in, he says, "Why are you eating all my food, you strangers?" And Odie is like, "You're supposed to take care of us. That's what Southern hospitality is. I mean, hey, you know, you need to honor the gods and you need to feed us." And Cyclops is like, "Nope, we don't follow the rules around here." So, and then you know what he did? He called him a ninny. He said, "You're a ninny and I want to know your real name." And Odie was like, "I ain't telling you my name." And then he called him. He said, "My name's Nobody."
What is your name?
My name?
He is the Lord of...
Please! My name is Nobody. Nobody.
He said, "Nobody?" He said, "Okay, Nobody." He says, "Where's your ship, Nobody?" And he said, "I ain't got a ship." Odie said, "I ain't got a ship." He said, "My ship's gone. Zeus broke my ship. That's why we need your hospitality." And you know what the Cyclops did? He showed him hospitality the only way a Cyclops can. He grabbed up 2 of his men and he ate them.
Cyclops too.
He dismembered them, he smashed them against the wall, and he ate them. That's how Cyclops roll, y'all. Alright, so Odie wanted to kill it. When he saw him take his men, Odie wanted to kill it. But he knew he needed him to move this big boulder that he had put in front of the cave. So he had to use his brains. Was he said, "You know what would be nice to wash down my men? This drink I got." And so just like a good country boy, Greek boy, whatever, he passed him a drink. And the Cyclops drank the whole bowl down and he said, "That was good, give me another." And they're passing the wine around and he's saying it's a gift from the gods. And before you knew it, the Cyclops was drunk as a skunk and he passed out. Also, you know what he did? He grabbed an olive branch. Let's just pretend this right here, this is an olive branch. And he started whittling away at it, just like he did with that Trojan horse during the war that won the war. And he puts it into a large pointy stick. And then he takes the stick and he heats it up. He heats it up. And he takes it and he stabs it right into the Cyclops' his eyeball. And the Cyclops is like, ah, nobody stabbed me. Nobody stabbed me. He said, nobody stabbed me, but he got stabbed. So he got stabbed in the eye. And then he's freaking out. And as he's freaking out, he's going to yell to his friends. He's going to say, nobody stabbed me, friends. Come help me. Come help me. But in order to do that, he had to move the boulder. He moved the boulder. And then Odie and his men, they done snuck out on the bottom of the sheep. And he didn't even know any better. Odie's so smart, y'all. Alright, so then Odie ends up at the land of the dead. The land of the dead, here's what he had to do. He had to go talk to this guy named Tiresias. Alright, Tiresias wouldn't tell him how he's going to get home to his wife. So he goes and they say, oh yeah, you got to sacrifice your best heifer. So he's got to bring his best heifer. He's got to battle all these ghosts and goblins. I don't know, they could have possessed him or something. And then he walks through hell, basically. He walked through hell and back, basically. Walking in with the heifer, and he's trying to find Tiresias. And then finally Tiresias comes out, and Tiresias is like, yeah, here's what's going to happen, buddy. So he's like, you done ticked off the Cyclops. And that was Poseidon's son, and you definitely shouldn't have done that. So you're going to find some rough seas ahead of you, boy. So he says, you know, you're going to find a narrow strait. You're barely going to get through that. And we're going to get to that next. He says, then you're going to wash up on the shores. You're going to see Lord Helios. Don't eat those cows, buddy. Don't eat those cows, especially the heifers. He says, then most likely your men going to die. They're going to die. Maybe you'll survive. Maybe you'll get to your wife. But all along the way, you better keep making those sacrifices to those gods. You better keep praying. And if you don't, you're going to die too. All right, y'all. Before he left Circe said to him, you're going to pass the Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis. Now, here's what you need to know in order to get through those obstacles. She said, first, when you pass the Sirens and you hear that sweet song, don't let them ladies fool you. They're going to kill you. She said, put beeswax in your boys' ears so they can't hear it, and then make them tie you up. So no matter how much you beg to go be with them ladies in the sea, you can't get free. They got right past those Sirens. Next was Scylla. Scylla was this big rock monster. She had all these heads, and she had all these teeth and these fangs, and she was bad, y'all. On the other side of Scylla was Charybdis. Charybdis had big old teeth, and when she opened those jaws, she sucked men down into the depths of the sea, their ship and all. And y'all know, you know what we call Charybdis these days? We call it a whirlpool. It's just a whirlpool. It's science, y'all. So Circe said, stay away from Charybdis, because that way you're going to lose all your men. She's going to suck you down into the ocean, your ship, and all. She said, stay close to that rock monster, because better lose 6 men, because Scylla had 6 heads, so she'd take 1 man for each head. Better to lose 6 than all your men. So Odie and his men got by Scylla and Charybdis. You might call it a rock and a hard place, where that saying came from, y'all. And next, after they defeated them lady monsters, next was the cattle of the sun gods. The cattle of the sun gods is where it all ends, y'all. Zeus and Poseidon did not make it easy on Odie, that's for sure. He had to make amends with those gods before he made it home, and it took him 10 years to do that. So he had a lot to make amends, y'all. But there were some helpers. Athena, she helped him a lot. Tiresias told him how to get home. Hermes helped him quite a bit. So finally he reaches the cattle, Lord Helios' cattle. And all those people been saying, don't eat the cows, don't eat the cows, don't eat the heifers. But you know what his men did? No matter how much Odie tried, he stayed awake, he prayed, he tried, y'all. He fell asleep, and his men ate the cows. So Lord Helios comes down, and he puts his wrath upon those men, and those men never made it home. But Odie didn't eat the cows, and he made amends with those gods. And Odie finally made it home to his wife. Simmerman, the Odyssey with Simmerman. I meant to do that.